systems are offline.
eRadio Live, powered by TCS Wi-Fi.
In the groove, it is time for Tech Thursday. Thursday afternoon it is, and it is just about 3 o'clock here on eRadio. Joined in our loft studio by...
Hey, Kaine, I'm here. I've arrived.
How's it going, Kaine? How was your week so far?
No,
It's been a short week.
It's been an awesome week, you know, getting back into the swing of things. The beginning of the week is always busier than the end of the week, but in tech, it never sleeps.
Yeah, in tech it never sleeps, eh? It never ever sleeps. If it sleeps, then you know there's a problem.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The minute we stop advancing, I mean, there's gonna be catastrophic
I don't even
failure.
want to think about that.
What new iPhone are you gonna get?
Yeah, exactly. Now that you're talking about a new phone, I was actually thinking the other day, you know, my upgrade is coming up in November, and I'm like, what? Why do I have to upgrade? Because what's the new phone going to do that the current one can't do? I mean, this one's got 3 cameras. It can do just about anything. So why would I want a new phone, you know?
Exactly. I mean, the cameras are getting better and better so quickly, and the minute we went onto this Leica more than one camera and using AI to kind of create an even better image, it's just gone out of this world. I mean, I remember a few years ago I thought, hey, let me buy this phone with 3 cameras on it. That's going to be the new best thing, you know, and it'll be tech advanced enough to keep a few years. But, you know, 6 months later you got Samsung coming out with 4 cameras, and now there's iPhones with 5 cameras. It's like, wow.
But I really think it is more than we need. Also 5G, I don't think we need it.
I was thinking about something the other day because my friend was showing off his zoom functionality on his phone. He's like, wow, look here, I can go like 55x zoom. And I was like, geez, that's quite impressive. And I thought, wow, you know, what could happen in the next 20, 30 years? You take a photo of something, you could probably zoom into the microscopic scale and start having a look at it, you know, right at your fingertips.
Yeah, probably do like an analysis or whatever you call that thing. Kaine, this episode is brought to you by the new Robo Dog. I'm not joking, actually. It is in Nanjing. It's a whippy, fast Robo Dog. It's actually also a vacuum cleaner. So while it is coming to you and doing things, it can actually also clean your house. It's quite nice, actually.
Can you imagine your pet dog looking at that? Like, how am I ever going to compete with this?
Totally attack it. Absolutely would attack it. But I think they did it because in some parts of China, well, in Nanjing, you are not allowed to have dogs. So now they're kind of giving you a bit of a dog, a mix of pets and technology, I suppose.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I think if I was somewhere in China or Asian region, it's very clamped together, it's very clustered. It's actually not hospitable to have an animal as a pet in such a environment. It's not right to the animal even. So I guess as an alternative, you can switch electric. You plug them in at night. Oh no, it's just, where's the world going?
No, man, this is strange. Let me show you a photo of it.
Oh my word.
No, man, come on. It's not the same.
It looks like a walking stool.
The people are saying, no, listen, it's actually very similar to a real dog. I totally disagree. Are you going to cuddle with that thing in the winter? I don't think so.
No, it's not going to be at the foot of my bed, that's for sure. That's how you get electrocuted.
But it's selling for they've already sold more than 1,800 of these alpha dogs, as they call them. They've trotted off the shelves, and it's got a hefty price tag. That's 16,000 yen. That's about $2,400 US.
Does it bark at strangers?
No.
Does it defend against intruders?
No.
How would you react as a burglar? You break into a house and there's an electronic dog that's yapping at you. Do you just turn him off?
Yeah, you just turn him off, man. Or you melt him.
You just throw him with some water.
Yeah. Listen, this is insane. But anyway, that is our sponsor for today. So we just have to tell the people good things about it. Tongue in the cheek, of course. Okay, so what is happening with Facebook? Everybody is talking about Facebook and people are concerned. over 500 million users have had their data leaked on Facebook. What is happening, Kaine?
It's a very alarming bit of information to find out. You're talking about a conglomerate, a very powerful company with plenty of resources, and they're unable to protect their secure data away from a single individual hacker. Now, I assume that particular individual who gained access there is probably not just some stranger. It's probably someone who's already got their fingers inside of Facebook. They've used their interface before, they've been involved in the back end. That usually is the case. But when you're looking at 500 million accounts getting hacked, what does it mean for the individual? Well, you as an individual who has their set password for Facebook, if you share that password with any other platform, you're at risk, because even someone like me can go and investigate and index that list and say, wow, this was your password you used for Facebook, this was your email you had for Facebook, let me just go to Netflix and try it, let me go to Take-A-Lot and try it,
because it's usually the same.
Exactly. You're more likely to have the same password and email on Facebook as your other platforms, because it's like, why wouldn't you trust Facebook and that sort of stuff. But it's not the first time that this has happened, and it's definitely not a hard thing to do, to go out and actually look for your information and see if you've been breached. There's even some websites that allow you just to put in your email address and see if there's been any databases outside of even Facebook that have found your email and your password. And if they have, well, the golden rule there is you go and look and you see, oh wow, they see that this email has been used and they've got my password. Let me change every place I'm logged into with this password. That's the best way you can secure yourself, because it is really easily accessible information once it's been leaked. And there's plenty of bad players in the game that are going to go and try and use that information for malicious purposes. I mean, they could go and just send a fake email to your email that they see there that says log into Facebook to secure your account after the breach, and it's just fake. And then you go in and you try and get access back to your Facebook or further secure it, and you end up giving information that you shouldn't or something like that. So there's a lot of scams that come along the way if that information has been shared. It's not like they want specifically just to get access to your Facebook account and posts and things like that. They're hoping that information is one-to-one with more, attractive platforms that might hold some sort of financial gain for them.
Very interesting. I see that just looking at the personal information that leaked, we're talking mobile numbers. By the way, somebody was really having fun with my number this week. I've had some very strange phone calls. I've had Truecaller and all that stuff blocking them, and it's like everybody this week decided to call me with an offer. Advertising something. I'm just wondering, listen, I'm telling you, the banks, I'm not surprised, are selling our details.
No, there must be.
Companies are selling our details.
And how is it affordable? I mean, it's not a cheap thing to send an SMS or to place a call. I mean, you must make, if it costs you R1 to call one person and you end up calling 1,000 people, that means 1 in every 1,000 people need to make you more than R1,000. And that's quite astonishing. Like, how much money are these guys making from this telecommunication activity? Is it like a thriving sideline business that is, negative in its methodology, or is it something else that is just like trial and error? Like, hey, we found this database of 5,000 contacts. Let's just call them all and see if we can get them under an insurance package or something.
Very interesting. I don't know when last you had a spam call, but I've had quite a few of them this week, and I just keep blocking them. But they keep phoning from different numbers. How do you get rid of them?
You can't. It's impossible. You got to create rules. I think there was a rule passed actually that any time a telecommunication agent calls you, they actually have to be able to prove that they got your number with your consent. So if you ever do find yourself in a position where you're speaking to a spam caller, ask them, where the heck did you get my permission to use my number, and they'll probably leave you alone after that.
With this Facebook breach, the latest one I should say, they've got your mobile number, they've got your name, they've got your gender, location, relationship status, occupation, date of birth, and also your email address. That's what they've got. And there's a way to check if you've been affected. Have you heard of the site called Have I Been PWNED?
Pawned.
Okay, but why do you spell it like that? How does that work?
It's an old terminology used.
Oh, okay, thank goodness for clearing
that up.
It's like
slang.
Oh, is it slang? Okay. I'm so glad you're telling me now, because I thought it was a typo, actually.
So that is the website I was actually referring to. Well, one of the websites I was referring to that you can go to and actually index not just this Facebook data breach, but every single data breach ever, and see if your details come up there. And here's an interesting moral and psychological kind of question. Is it fair to be able, as the user, it seems kind of fair that you can go online and see, hey, have I been hacked? But I can also go and look at my friend's email on that site and say, hey, what is his passwords? So it's almost like the data was breached, and then it's indexed in a way that it can make it easy for you to see if you've been in fact hacked, but it also makes it easier for other people who don't have the full database to just quickly scan and see if there's any usable stuff there. I mean, it's quite a moral conundrum.
Shucks. So what do you do? Okay, but can you try anyway? Go to Have I Been Pawned?
I'm on there. Yeah, no.
Okay.
If you use one of my emails, you'll see that I've been pawned. And
so you've been pawned
from other hacks.
Oh, really? Eh?
Yeah, no. There was quite a few out there that have actually gone through. Like some that you'll know. I mean, if I go to the site now, if anyone goes to the site, you can see all of the breaches that they have there, that they have recorded of hacks happening and data breaches happening. And I mean, it's like an astonishing. I mean, look at this. I mean, largest breaches are things like verifications.io, Facebook, MySpace, Carding Mafia, Leica, Gab, Ticket Counter. That's like people buying tickets and things like that, going to concerts and things like that.
Not good.
Big data breaches. I mean, the biggest one is 772 million accounts, and that was actually a person who collected all of the data breaches and one big list out.
Oh, wow.
Then there's verifications.io, which is like a third party for account verification for you to verify your identity and stuff like that, dealing with ID documents and all that sort of stuff. They were breached. 763 million people exposed from that. Online spam bot accounts, data enrichment exposure, exploit.in accounts. I mean, it's just never ending. I mean, MySpace was even breached for 359 million accounts.
Really?
I mean, it's scary. I mean, recent breaches, there are even a few, anywhere from 400 to 1 million breaches. The one being that specific ticket counter with 1.9 million breaches. Super VPN and Gecko VPN, 20 million individuals breached. So you really actually have to, you got to kind of force yourself to use the website and say, you know, have I actually been breached? There's been a few times where I've searched, like I searched one of my colleagues' emails just to be like, you know, hey, look, let's check if you've been pawned, and they have. You know, I even just searched my email now and it says pawned in 2 data breaches. So that's.
Can you check mine, Kaine?
Yeah, so I've been my data breaches. One is from CoinMama, which is a cryptocurrency thing, and then Mashable was another one where they got my. So what? Let me check yours as well. What is your email?
Is anything embarrassing going to come up?
No.
Okay, it's my name and my surname.
Okay.
At gmail.com. I mean, that's so easy.
No, you haven't.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, that's the first, eh?
Not today.
Yeah, so
That's
I
nice.
advise anyone to go have a look then and protect your data, because a lot of people actually use the same passwords across many different platforms. I don't, and that's why I constantly am resetting passwords. But
Yeah, and then me too. But then I forget them, man. It's not lacquer. Then I have to reset them and make new passwords. I saw a meme the other day, and it said, "I have no more passwords in me." But you also get these password generators. They're quite handy, but I mean that's just Morse code, really. It's hard. I mean, there's no way you can actually memorize all those digits and little things.
If you can memorize an auto-generated password, you're not doing the right thing every day.
Well, you have
need to
superpowers.
You need to be there at NASA recording data structures for planetary movements or something.
Listen, we just spoke about Facebook. We're going to talk about later on. We're going to talk about, the two brothers, is it Winklevoss brothers?
Yes.
Who were involved with Mark Zuckerberg. And that big thing that's been going for years about the ownership of Facebook.
Yes.
Got some news from the two brothers here, Tyler and Cameron.
Did you know they also got involved in crypto?
Yeah, that's one of the stories here.
Okay, we're gonna get into it.
Yeah, they've made a lot of money. Hey, it's not like they lost out on money. They certainly made a lot of money. Not with Facebook, but with Bitcoin.
Yeah, no.
I didn't even know that.
No, they're wealthy now.
But they didn't show us the Bitcoin side on the movie, The Social Network?
No, because it was never a thing back then.
Okay.
Or
I was
at
going to
least
say
it
no.
might have been, but I think they released Gemini, which was their exchange, in 2014, I think.
Okay, yeah, it was probably before.
But anyone pre-2016 is doing well for themselves in crypto if they didn't fall out.
Sure. So what are we going to talk about when we come back?
We have some interesting stuff.
About.
So we created a battery that has massless energy storage, which performs 10 times better than a traditional battery, which is quite astonishing. And we're also talking about astronomers have found the safest place to live in the Milky Way. Where we stay is pretty safe, but there is an even safer place where even more life can exist. And we're going to talk about that, which is very interesting. And then will.i.am has come out with a face mask. And that face mask lets you listen to music.
Oh, wow.
Oh, damn. Yeah, so we got lots of interesting stuff to talk about.
Sure, that is so awesome. will.i.am. Played him yesterday with Britney.
Yeah, they did well. They Black Eyed Peas Day.
Yes, absolutely. So we come back with that story or those stories. It's 16 minutes past 3 o'clock. This is Tech Thursday on eRadio.
Get the eRadio SA app right now for free on the Google Play Store. Entertainment radio on the go.
Yes, welcome back to Tech Thursday on a Thursday afternoon. It's 19 minutes past 3 o'clock. It's eRadio Live. Eon and Kaine with you till 4 o'clock today. Now, we've got a few hellos. The one is to Paul, then we've got Anonymous, and then we've got
Susan as well. Also, hello to all of our listeners.
Yes, hello Susan. Susan in Cape Town. It's so nice to know you're listening. She likes tech as well. She's a big Instagrammer.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. I would do Instagram a lot more if I had the opportunity. I mean, the future in today is actually building an influence, an organic influence that you've built over time that you use to either leverage your own personal enterprise or even do side hustle.
I actually should be more clear by saying that she's not an Instagrammer as an influencer. I meant that she's an Instagram addict.
Well, if you're not creating the content, you're consuming it.
Yeah,
so
she loves consuming it. And then I'm not that much on I am for eRadio now, but personally, I'm not really very active on Instagram, but when she sees a nice video, she usually saves it or screenshots it or whatever, and then she sends it to me, and then it's all off Instagram. And then TikTok, I'm also getting my TikToks from her. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't have any TikToks on my phone. I don't do TikTok. No TikTok. Only TikTok I have is my clock.
If I got enough time to myself, I would get lost in TikTok. I could drop hours in that.
I think the main thing with TikTok is that it's so short. The videos are nice and short because our attention span is so bad nowadays. The average human being, our attention span is terrible.
No, totally.
So TikTok's nice and short. It's just little compact little videos and it's funny.
I struggle to watch YouTube videos now. I mean, I see a YouTube video for 6 minutes. I'm like, 6 TikTok videos. I don't know if I have the time.
You see, I think less is more right now. Social media, when it comes to that. I actually mentioned earlier, I don't know if you heard, Kaine, but when you feature music on your TikTok, you can include music, like well-known artists' music. Usually when you did that with South African music, the artists wouldn't get any royalties. But now there's a new deal with SAMRO and the Composers, Authors and Publishers Association, CAPASO. Samru and Kapasa, and they are now going to, for those songs, the rights to it, the royalties, they are actually going to pay the artists for that music being used. So if
Fantastic.
you use a song in a video, let's say the Parlour Tones will be getting some a bit of money.
It actually makes total
That's
sense.
how it should be.
It's
I
one
thought
of those
it was
things
like
that
that.
happen that you don't think about, you know? You think, okay, you know, it's just a song, people use it, and some people get famous, but everybody actually deserves a piece of the pie, especially when someone like TikTok is making money. But I mean, TikTok makes money very differently from someone who's as effective at it as someone like Facebook, for example. I don't think we could compare the revenue streams. Maybe we can, in the sense that TikTok is very active and people spend a lot of time on it, but in the same regard, TikTok doesn't have the necessary advertising tools that you would expect to be available to advertisers such as myself. And the quality of the ads that at least I've come across on TikTok are well beyond subpar in the retrospect that I'm not being converted by them. I'm not anywhere close attempted to engage on that. And I think the difference there is, on YouTube, you have a very high quality of content standard. Everything is high production value. It's production teams, or it's an individual who's enterprised himself in such a way that his quality is very, very high. So when you see a very, very high production quality ad on YouTube, it's almost under the same umbrella. You're welcoming it. But on TikTok, when you have a high quality production piece of content, and it's not if it's not optimized for vertical viewing, so this the way you hold your phone, it sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
You just like you're looking through your curated human content that is done on phone, so it has a certain par of quality, and then you come across this high production value ad. It's just, oh no, it's an ad, skip it, I'm not interested. I don't know how effective TikTok's ad revenue stream is, but it'll be very interesting to see how they evolve over time.
Yeah, it shouldn't be so apparent that it's an ad, because that puts people off, you know.
Oh yeah, totally. And also the advertisers are in the wrong as well, because they're creating ad content that is suitable for Instagram and YouTube and Facebook, but when you're looking at TikTok, you got less than 5 seconds to grab the person.
Yeah, sure.
And an ad doesn't do that. They kind of go the long way around trying to sell you.
Did you see the evolution of YouTube meme this week, Kaine?
No, I haven't.
Did I send it to you?
No.
I can't remember. Okay, so 2012, ads before a video. 2015, ads in between videos. 2020, double ads before a video and several ads in between videos. And then next year, 2022, videos in between ads. Now listen, that sounds far-fetched, but I actually think we could be heading that direction the way it's carrying on now. We spoke about that a couple of weeks ago, and I was telling you about all those double ads I'm getting nowadays in the middle of videos. ASMR videos, for God's sakes.
Yeah, no, it's all over the place. These ads are, and the thing is, the creator, the influencer, he has the ability to control how many ads he earns on his video, but he also has the obligation to fund himself enough money to keep making videos. So it always ends up in that scenario where every influencer is making less and less money on the ads that they're getting, because there's more and more influencers, and at the same time they need to make more money, so they're adding more ads, which is deterring more viewers. But YouTube has the YouTube Red subscription, which removes ads, which ultimately I'm not too sure on how that, one user paying however much a month might actually, I'm sure YouTube would have calculated so that the amount you're paying per month well exceeds the amount of revenue generated from the ads that you watch, perhaps on a rolling average. So it probably will be better off going for the subscription. But we're going back to this Netflix, Spotify, Amazon Prime, YouTube, Apple. You got like 1,000,001 subscriptions that are nailing your account every single month. I mean, it's not there's no foreseeable long-term strategy there. You're going to keep getting more and more of these platforms, and you're going to have to keep applying more and more subscriptions and managing those subscriptions. It's just a nightmare, actually, in 10 years from now, how many subscriptions you might have.
Kaine, I'm holding up a photo in the studio now. What is this? Do you know?
No.
You don't know?
No.
Really?
It looks like an old radio station.
Okay, I just showed him that meme of "You may be old, but are you this old?" The Winamp one. It is Winamp. I think it came out in the 90s, and that's where we listened to our music, eh?
Really?
The first MP3s, all
Really?
the mixes with a nice equalizer, as you can see. Winamp is legendary. I mean, they don't make any more new versions. There was a last version. You can still download it on the internet. But this was a legendary little piece of software. That was the first music player on most Windows computers.
Wow.
And whenever you opened Winamp, there was this little jingle that played. It's kind of annoying sometimes. And then it would open and it would say, Winamp, it whips the llama's ass, or something like that. I don't know. They had a llama for their mascot. It's a llama, right?
I remember seeing them a long time ago, but it's amazing when you look back at tech from 5-10 years ago, even 15 years ago, phones are capable of outperforming a computer from 5-10 years ago.
And Johan is saying he made his own skins for Winamp. Wow, I think that's quite advanced. If you can make your own skins, change the look a bit, because this is the one I'm showing you now. That's the default one. That's how they came out.
So there was digital software that you used, and you would be able to play back music on the radio.
So Winamp, I just introduced you to Winamp. I can't believe it.
I'll definitely have a look at that.
Okay, Kaine, the mic's all yours now. I think I'm talking too much.
So let's talk about batteries for a second. Yeah, it's actually becoming a very competitive landscape, especially when you're looking at someone like Tesla. Their problem right now, or at least the problem faced by anybody trying to manufacture an electric car, is actually trying to manage the weight of the batteries. Because if you think about it, you can understand that a car such as a Tesla carrying batteries has to accommodate for that battery's weight.
Yeah.
It is not a structural piece of equipment, which means the weight of the batteries do not aid the structural integrity of the car. So they have to build the car structurally in such a way as that it can hold those batteries. And the problem with that is you need more power, so you're adding more weight. So the logic behind creating a massless structural battery is something that is very, very attractive to the current industry. And scientists have actually manufactured a massless structural battery 10 times better than before. The battery cell performs well in structural and energy tests. With planned further development, structural batteries reduce weight and could revolutionize electric cars and electric planes. So being able to actually create batteries that aid in the structural integrity of the device or the piece of equipment or the vehicle is going to make a massive difference to the scalability of utilizing electric mobility in planes and cars. And we're moving along that trajectory right now. Normal batteries take up a ton of room in a car and they don't contribute to any structural benefit in the car. So, we're asking the question right now, but what if the frame of the car could hold energy? And that is the basis behind a massless structural battery. And I think that is very interesting and a very interesting direction to be taking. Your car is going to be, the frame of your car is going to be what powers your car.
Yeah.
I mean, unreal. I even read about a car that was recently developed which runs and charges itself off of radio frequencies.
Ooh.
Now the interesting thing is, it is possible, but interestingly enough, Tesla, there's some scratchy stories about Tesla riding around in a car which apparently claimed to be powering itself. And what did it have out the front of it? An antenna. And that antenna is a radio frequency. And he believed that radio frequencies you could end up utilizing a radio frequency to power your vehicle, and in so create another radio frequency which energizes the car. And if it energizes it more than it uses, you have infinite energy. And that's actually going on. So I mean, we're making really, it's astonishing. If you're looking at 2000 to 2005 and you're looking at 2015 to 2020, the advances that we're making in tech and capabilities of that tech, it's uncomparable. You're going from a phone the size of a brick to a phone the size of half a brick. And in this day and age, we're going from a phone that can computate a small amount of processing power to a phone that can compete with most computational devices, such as a computer. I mean, it's unreal.
Well, why were the phones so... Okay, the phones were huge when they came out. I mean, you could kill someone with a phone. If you just threw that phone at somebody, or they would at least have brain damage.
No, that would be rough and hurt.
And then, because I went through that, I mean, that's when Nokia 5110, I mean, that wasn't even the biggest phone. But then they got smaller and smaller and smaller, almost like really small. And then they went bigger and bigger again. Now with the latest Samsungs, I mean, it's quite big.
Bigger than bigger. The iPhone 5 is not the same size as the iPhone 10. You know, it's like completely different. It's almost like we wanted things to be smaller and smaller because what we used them for didn't require a large device. You were calling a person, you were answering a person, maybe you were making a few messages or just retrieving messages. There was no need for a lot of screen real estate. There was no need, also because your keyboard and stuff was actually a physical piece of equipment on your phone. So your screen size didn't have to be that big. But in today's day and age, you're utilizing your phone for media experience. You might be watching videos on it, playing.
So it's all about
music.
The screen, you know,
so
prioritizing the screen.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Thinner device, bigger screen.
Sorry, the older iPhones, the screens weren't really great for video. You know, the older iPhones.
And now, when you've got these cameras that can capture at 4K, your screen has to be able to play back at 4K, but the size of your screen in comparison to having a 4K 56-inch TV, you got so many more pixels and so much of a smaller. It's just a brilliant viewing experience. I mean, people want more and more and more of that. That's probably why they're getting bigger.
There's a question on WhatsApp. Apple is planning on making a smart car, taking phones to a whole new size. Like, that's not a question. That's somebody saying that.
Yes, that is
that true?
thing. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I mean, Apple wants to release a car.
Ooh, okay. And that's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Will it be in the shape of an apple?
Oh, that's a good question.
Come on, it would be great. Please, give us a floating apple.
What, Mac Car Air?
Yes.
Something
like that, yeah. Or at least, okay, now it's probably just going to have the Apple logo on it, and that's going to shine, like
so
illuminate.
This car will have no windows. They want everybody inside the vehicle to be wearing virtual glasses, reality glasses.
No, are you kidding?
This is what I read. I mean, it could be a hoax, but this is what I've read.
Did you read it on the 1st of April?
Oh, you gotta be careful, eh?
No, I really hope that's not true. I mean, you need to see outside and get the fresh air and all that stuff. They're taking away the experience. Why would you want to drive on a...
Let me roll down my windows.
Why would you... And wear virtual goggles. Oh my god, no, I'm not excited about that.
No, it will be so
No, I don't
weird.
want that.
I don't want that. Imagine seeing a car roll up with no windows.
Yeah.
Totally
and I mean, that thing will drive and probably won't even crash. But that's not lacquer.
Let me see my landscape.
Yeah, no. Or they would probably, or maybe there will be cameras outside the car and then they will show you what it looks like outside. But I mean, you want to see it for real.
I mean, well, the interesting thing about a virtual reality headset in a car environment is you actually, in a car, it might feel like you can see everything, but you have a number of blind spots. Created from various things, the body of the car, the rear view mirror not actually being able to see in a certain direction and things like that. That is your limitation. So if you were in a virtual car and they were able to match up the tech demand to be able to provide the functionality for 360 degree viewing angle, you'll be able to see everything around you as if the car wasn't even there, which would be a completely different driving experience. Imagine driving and everything is a window. Everything is completely transparent. You can see every single direction, even the ground.
Did you see that one of the airplane where everything is glass?
No.
That's freaky.
That would freak me out.
No.
Solid.
No, everything. You can't look anywhere. It's just all glass.
Every
all
time
windows.
we land or take off, I think we're going to shatter. Start bracing.
Brace for impact. Oh no, that will be terrible.
It's like being inside of a falling wine glass. It's like, you're not going to come out right. That's mad.
Being inside a falling wine glass. I'm going to print those words and frame it. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Speaking about being safe, so astronomers have found the safest place to live in the Milky Way, and surprise, surprise, it's not where we are in the Milky Way. And it's an interesting, complex problem to ask, and even question to ask, and a complex problem to try solve. To figure out where in the Milky Way is the safest place for human inhabitants, or at least any kind of living organism to inhabit, you have to vary a plethora of factors. Number one, most obvious factor, which might or might not apply, but the most obvious factor is the distance from a sun is going to play a major role in temperature, which, if we're talking about our temperature that we exist now on Earth as the optimal temperature, then the planet or that system has to be very well positioned so that it is warm enough and not too cold. At the same time, big solar systems, things like stars and stuff, when they go supernova and things like that, they release a large amount of devastating radiation that like rips apart DNA and things like that, makes it very impossible for life to survive. So for an optimal position in the Milky Way to live, to find it, you have to find a place that is well positioned around suns and solar systems, and also you have to find a place that is well protected or quite far away from any potential hazardous radiation or gamma radiation or solar flares or anything like that, to maintain life over a long period of time. And they found that between 5,000 and 7,500 light years from the center of the Milky Way is in fact the safest place to exist. Now, the good news for Earth is that the longer and longer we are here and we exist, the less and less likely it is that we face an extinction level solar radiation event. So although it's relatively less safe where we are compared to 5,500 light years from the center of the Milky Way, we're still getting more and more safe the longer we live for, because the immediate risks have already or will only cause devastation so many times in history, and with the universe constantly expanding, they're getting further away. So we're in a good place right now, but it might be a good idea to start investing or start looking at those kind of exoplanets in that region to try and figure out, where next after Mars. I mean, that's the next question, isn't it? Where next after Mars?
No, I'll just stay right here on planet Earth. I'm just boring like that, but no, I'm taking chances.
No, I like gravity, bro. I think I'll stick with this.
Yeah, it's here for a reason. Imagine there was this movie about people being stuck in space. Do you remember that?
Yes. I think
what was the name, man?
Gravity.
It's like, yes, Gravity. I saw that somewhere.
Clooney,
yeah, it's an old movie.
Yeah.
And then they were stuck in space. They couldn't get back. I mean, that's my worst nightmare.
No.
That and being stuck in a lift.
No, I would never like to be stuck in a lift.
Same.
Being stuck in a spaceship is an immediately bigger problem than being stuck in a lift, because there's a maintenance team that can come for you. There's no one coming for you in space. If you just drift off into flippin' Narnia, no one's gonna come. No one can get to you, first of all. Second of all, once you're gone, if you get knocked and you move at 500 miles an hour in a southward direction, you're not gonna stop. You're gonna keep going at 500 miles an hour into the flippin' abyss.
And then you're just getting further and further away from Earth.
One day you'll just pass Pluto as a corpse. It's like no fun.
That's scary. Yeah, like you say, in the lift you can call the maintenance team, but in space you got to call.
I can't call no one.
Shit, that's scary.
Trouble. And my thing is also, if you're in space, and like, do you just breaststroke all the way into
at least enjoy it, for God's sake.
Like, well, how do you get back? And even if you do, how do you survive re-entering orbit? These are all problems that I can think will be solved in the next 50 to 150 years.
You reckon?
Well, we're bridging into the commercial spaceflight enterprise now with Virgin Active, SpaceX, even NASA to some extent. Richard Branson has specifically said that this is something that he wants to ascertain in his lifetime. So he wants to be able to commercialize space flight, trips around the moon, and someone was actually telling me the other day, I was in Johannesburg, and I was speaking to a a commercial aircraft test pilot, and he said, as much as it's a sad thing to realize, a lot of the rules of the road and the rules of the sky are written in blood, meaning something bad has happened and something else has been put into place in order to keep that particular thing from not happening again. And if these things are causing major uproar in the commercial spaceflight enterprise, we're going to see technologies that are protecting individual human being or entry into orbit and things like that. I mean, if we can nail that nail on the head, that means we're talking about major advancements. You're able to better protect astronauts. You're able to better prepare for interspace engineering projects and things like that. It's very difficult to actually do all of that stuff in space with all of the risks. Also, an astronaut can only spend, I think, 500 and something days in space before he's reached his maximum exposure in his lifetime to solar radiation.
Oh, wow.
And he can't actually go into space anymore.
Oh, wow.
So there are actually some prerequisites and some parameters that we still haven't properly solved, which is going to make big differences. I mean, astronauts able to have more than 1 to 3 years experience in space. Imagine a 15-year experienced astronaut who's an engineer by profession. I mean, a space welder. I don't know if you know this, but you can actually weld steel in space.
No.
Just by touching it together.
What?
Yeah, you don't need any heat or anything. So as soon as two pieces of metal in space touch together, as long as there's no paint or anything between them, they immediately fuse.
Oh, wow.
Because in traditional environments on Earth, for example, there's always something in between two objects. There's air, there's molecular interference and things like that. But in space, it's absent of that. It's in a vacuum.
Sure.
So as soon as you touch two like propertied pieces of metal together, the metal in itself doesn't actually know where the one piece of metal starts and the other metal ends, so
just
they
becomes
fuse
one
together. Yeah, it's called cold
that's
welding.
so cool. Cold welding.
Yeah, how interesting is that? I read
That's
about
so
that
interesting.
the other day.
Let's have a bit of music, and then we're talking about the Winklevoss brothers and what they've been up to since suing Mark Zuckerberg for taking Facebook from them.
Computer systems are offline.
eRadio Live, powered by TCS Wi-Fi.
As I mentioned just before, a couple of minutes ago, the Winklevoss brothers, we were introduced to them, in case you didn't know about them or of their existence, we were introduced to them in the movie The Social Network. That was all about Mark Zuckerberg being in university and creating... That was a great movie, eh? Who played Zuckerberg? I can't remember. Wasn't Ashton Kutcher? It was somebody else.
It was that.
What's it? Yeah, I'm seeing his
socially
face.
awkward guy.
I'm seeing his face
now.
now.
That acts a lot in movies. He was in Kick-Ass as well.
That's it.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
What's his name now, man?
I'll never remember his name.
Yeah, you
It's
see, and
Zuckerberg
now I'm under pressure, so I can't. It's exact. But he played a great. It was great acting, actually. He played a good role there.
No,
it was a difficult
absolutely.
role, actually. Okay, so the Winklevoss brothers came along and they said, hey, Mark, Facebook's not just yours. We also, right? That's what happened.
That's
We
exactly
also,
what happened.
Intellectual property or something.
So the Winklevoss twins came to Mark Zuckerberg and they had an idea for him, and he was actually in college at the time, or at least tertiary education, and they came to him with an idea, and he evolved that idea into Facebook. Before making another page called Hot or Not, if I remember correctly. And Hot or Not was a page where you would see a picture of someone and you would rate them hot or not.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Was that the Winklevoss
No,
brothers?
that was Mark Zuckerberg, I believe.
Oh.
And then after creating that, I think that's what got the attention of the Winklevoss twins, and they approached Zuckerberg with an idea, which was actually just a Facebook for college, I think.
Yeah.
It was only exclusively for campuses. And he took the idea further than that and turned it into what is Facebook today, obviously. And they sued him, I think, for $110 million, and they got paid out.
Sure.
Yeah.
So they got some money out of it.
They got $100 and something million.
Okay, but apparently they invested 11 million of that, $11 million back into Bitcoin in 2013.
Yeah.
And they've got a big, what do you call it? What's it? A net profit or what?
Yeah, it'd be
A net profit. Sorry, okay. It's a bit out of my comfort zone. They've got a net worth. That's the word. Net worth, or the words I was looking for. They've got a net worth in excess of $6 billion right now. Because of that. Okay, obviously that's one of the main things, but they like to dabble in cryptocurrency. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they went from, I think they created Gemini Exchange, and they've also got some other crypto enterprises. I think they've been big players in a few other crypto technologies as well.
And also invested in 25 digital asset startups, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
25. Oh.
Well, it's actually very easy to do that in crypto, especially during 2015 to 2017. Even now, with a lot of projects coming out, it's easy to create a critical investment. But for them, they have money, so they can get it. They have the opportunity to get involved during seed funding rounds and very early stages of these projects, and that's actually the best time to get involved. And if you're a critical investor, you're investing a large portion of the required capital. I mean, you've really set yourself up well, and they're not at the back end of digital tech advancements, so they've made a few good decisions over the years for sure.
Apparently, when they bought in, Bitcoin was going for around $8 a pop.
Incredible, right?
Hey? I mean, it's just a risk you have to take. You never know whether you're going to lose your $8 or make $8 billion.
Yeah, so they've invested $11 million into $8 a coin, and now
it's look at them,
$60,000 a coin.
Sure, really?
Yeah.
It's now on $60,000 a coin.
North of 60,000.
Yo, that's hectic, eh? That's hectic. That's very hectic.
Yeah.
Trying to process it.
Yeah, no, it's very intense, and it's been an absolute roller coaster of a year, the last year, in terms of crypto. But it's by no means over, and it's still a big story to be told. Yeah.
Sure. What have you got for us next, Kaine?
Will I am.
And Brittany, bitch.
Hey. Will I am has created his first face mask, and it's the first face mask that actually includes noise cancelling earphones. He says he got the idea while flying during the pandemic. The mask will be available from 8 April in South Africa.
And that's today.
For 4,400 Rand only.
Okay, pass.
Yeah. Now I get my masks for free.
Yeah, I'm actually tired of buying masks. Maybe I must look at something else. You get really nice masks nowadays. They actually don't touch your mouth. It's kind of more air to breathe, instead of just being...
It kind of makes you crazy, because the role of a mask is to actually reduce the amount of air coming out of your mouth, the dispersion of air out your mouth, and our solution is make masks which disperse more air.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's so comfortable. It's like the Rolls Royce of masks. I don't even know what you call it.
Well, that I can actually breathe through. Like, it's fully, like, I will forget that it's on my face because I can speak so easily to people around me, but I just feel like it's not effective.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm passing out in Spa with my mask, so I obviously need to make a plan here.
It's an asthma inducer. That's the biggest problem with a mask, a facial mask.
Yes.
It's like breathing into a brown paper bag the whole time.
Recycling, yeah.
So it can definitely be a problem for certain
and
asthmatics.
People with anxiety disorder as well. I mean, it's not on.
Absolutely, and breathing is akin to many of our bodily functions and maintaining mental stability. If you're having a very hard time, you can breathe evenly in and out and calm yourself down. You can breathe in more than you breathe out and hype yourself up. I mean, breathing is very powerful. So will.i.am is teaming up with Honeywell and Ironhead Studios, who designed the Black Panther and Batman suits to create a face mask. The super mask, with an X instead of an S. Okay. The super mask features a highly efficient particulate air filtration system, noise cancelling audio and microphone capabilities with Bluetooth 5.0. According to will.i.am, he got the idea at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, and the Muso told Hollywood Reporter that he wanted to make a mask for the traveler because the masks that were available were never intended for daily use. So he's obviously created this mask. I give him my hat. I take my hat off. It's a brilliant idea. It's only about $299, and it has noise cancelling headphones in. If you want to see a picture of the mask, it kind of looks like you're wearing a.
This looks like Darth Vader. Oof, okay, yeah, close.
It looks like you're becoming Bane, from Batman.
This is hilarious. Hey, you should see. Just do yourself a favor and go onto Google and Google ostrich pillows. That's the weirdest accessory I've ever seen in my life.
Ostrich pillows.
Ostrich pillows.
Don't tell me it's a pillow made of an ostrich.
No, it's just, I don't know why it's called ostrich, but you will see. Let me try and get it for you here.
The ostrich pillow. Can you believe
Ostrich pillows. You can actually, if you watch Schitt's Creek on Netflix, you can actually see Moira Rose using one of them.
Ah. Jeepers. What is that monstrosity? Oh my word, what is this? Ostrich pillow creates portable pillow, but you can just sleep on anything.
Yeah, isn't it crazy?
I mean, the things that we make these days is insane.
No, man, come on.
Speaking of insane things, did you know that among all the things that were leaked from Facebook's data breach, Zuckerberg's phone number was among the leaked data?
Oh.
And
Good.
The internet of researchers, all those guys that are doing all of our research free of charge for us, have found that Zuckerberg is on Signal.
Oh, isn't that just funny because they own WhatsApp? Why is he checking out?
Why is Zuckerberg using Signal instead or with WhatsApp? I mean,
maybe he's checking out the competition. That can only be the reason.
Maybe there's some messages that he doesn't want anyone ever to see.
So
and he knows
so contradictory.
that WhatsApp was not going to provide that service to him. Maybe he feels like Signal can keep his messages safer than WhatsApp. I mean, that's just dealing with some serious conspiracy now. But I don't even know what he's thinking. Mark Zuckerberg also respects his own privacy by using a chat app that has no end-to-end encryption and isn't owned by Facebook. Jeepers, eh? That has end-to-end encryption and isn't owned by Facebook. So the fact that he's using Signal is like, it's like me trying to start a mobile phone company like MTN or Vodacom, but then I go use Cell C. Like that's on my personal phone. I have Cell C.
Yeah, exactly. Just checking. It's like you're not believing in your own product. It's
Zuck just zucked himself. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
And now, Kaine, unfortunately, that's it. Can you believe it? Yeah. That's it for Tech Thursday today, unfortunately.
It comes and it goes so fast.
Yeah. So what are you going to do now when you leave the studio?
When I leave, I got a little bit of work to do. Got a lot of work to do. But other than that, I'm enjoying the day, getting ready for our next Thursday, Tech Thursday next week. Same time.
And thank you for the engagement. It was nice. We got some interesting messages here today.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Let's do it again next week, Tech Thursday between 3 and 4. I'm also leaving now, not with Kaine. I'll just open the door. And then we'll chat again. I'll be back again tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Yeah, for the Friday edition of eRadio Live. Awesome. It's Friday tomorrow. Did you know?
Celebration time.
Celebration time.
To get the weekend on. Alcohol's on sale again.
Oh, yes. Kaine, as always, thank you so much. It is great to co-host these shows with you. Somebody actually said that we should do more shows together.
We should.
Not just the technology show. What else would we host together if we didn't do technology?
That is something that we should announce. We should prepare for that. That is going to be...
Because I think our music tastes are quite different. So what would we host if we had to host a show? You educating me on rap or what?
We got to do it somehow. You got to tell me what you do and I got to tell you what I do. I mean, we got to figure it out.
Yeah, I think we technology is quite a nice meeting point for us, but we'll see.
We'll see. Imagine pinning my music against your music and we ask the audience what they prefer.
That's a brilliant idea.
Or
remix our songs together.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, live radio, DJing. Let's see what we can do.
Yes, well, another message just came in and saying Kaine is amazing. Defo more of him. Agree. So
yes,
that's very nice.
Thursday next week, we're back again.
You're making Kaine blush. You can't see him. He's turning a bit red here. Anyway, thank you so much to you also for listening. And remember, we'd love your engagement. Get in touch with us on the WhatsApp line 081 060 1640. Maybe there's something you would like us to talk about next week. Right now, we're off to the UK for 80s Drive Time with Paul Kazam. Until next time, it's Eon and Kaine saying goodbye from Niceland, South Africa.
Bye-bye.